Subscribe or you're a coward.
C2 Wrestling, what is going on? Definitely our first take for this SmackDown review. Great episode, I thought, at least. Fun episode, I'll say at the very least. But it starts off with the man of the hour, let's be honest. And that is, as I was doing it, you can't see me, John Cena. Not just any John Cena, the John Cena, babyface John Cena. We've been waiting for it. Obviously, he turned face last week on SmackDown. We had SummerSlam and all that. But this is his first babyface promo in this retirement tour, if you want to be looking at it like that. And I was giddy watching it, to be honest. It was all I wanted for these last few months, realistically. The heel turn again, it was electric when it happened, but it quickly went downhill. We're on record early on being like, I don't know. So I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for John Cena. I'm a little upset they just totally scrapped it, but like I'll look past it because what we're getting is pretty great. John Cena, though, interrupted tonight, I should say, by Logan Paul. Didn't quite see that coming. What did you feel, or how did you feel about that?
So on Cena just being face again, I actually was thinking about this. I remember, I want to say it was you. It might have been our honorary Oos Alec who said it. But they mentioned, oh, the moment Cena turns back face, like it's going to be this nuclear pop. And like, at least we're going to get this massive moment of when he turns back. And since they just straight up scrapped it, like we don't really get that. But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, we kind of did in his SummerSlam entrance. Like, I know it wasn't this massive moment in the ring, whatever, where he's like, he's deciding between two. Like, that SummerSlam entrance, that pop was so crazy that to me, it kind of scratched that itch.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
I'm totally fine that if something shit, just move on. like,
Yeah.
like, granted, they tried to find, like, they figured what is the quickest and best way to just pivot. They,
Mm-hmm.
they thought that was it. They washed their hands clean of it. I'm fine. Now, what do you do to make sure? I mean, he's gonna get cheered no matter what, but to add on how much of a baby face he is, you stick him with one of the biggest heels in the company in Logan Paul. And
Mm-hmm.
as soon as Logan's music hit, I had a feeling we're going to start to get a couple Cena matches in between, like his Brock match and his final match, when he did like the call out to anyone in the locker room. I hate to say this. I love it.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I'm
I
glad you, I'm
love it.
glad you said it before I did. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, again, babyface, this is the ultimate babyface now, especially off the back of the
Yeah.
heel turn, which again, the heel turn, not so great. Sure. I do agree. We kind of got that fix of it at SummerSlam with the entrance and all that. But the promo, this was the first like natural John Cena promo in the last matter of months. The pipe bomb against Punk was great and all that, but like a lot of those heel promos weren't really sticking, I guess we'll call it. But this I thought was a lot of fun to watch. What do you do with the biggest babyface? You give him the biggest heel. And it is Logan Paul, despite what the internet wants to think, what some of the fans out there want to think. The guy can go, the guy can talk, the guy can get the crowd riled up. And that's your best way to double down on John Cena being cheered, being a babyface. I love it. I think it's great. I think Cena, he's on record saying he's not picking his opponents. There's records saying he is picking his opponents. I think Logan Paul is one of the ones where he's like, I wanted Logan. And he's going to get that because I think he wants to put Logan over. I think he likes Logan. And I think he's not going to, I don't think Logan's going to win by any means.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to win to be put over. But I think Cena wants this one. And I, again, agree. I think there's going to be a couple of those matches in between the final three matches, we'll call it. I'm glad this is one of them.
See, to me, it screams the opposite. This screams WWE wants this matchup, and not that Cena would have been opposed to it, but
there's reasons for WWE to also want it 100%.
Yeah. This is obviously massive for them and for Logan. My thing with Logan, I am a Logan hater. I will be the first one, hands up, hate the guy, hate him. Every time I see him in the ring, it like twists my stomach. But it's not like change the channel hatred. It's I'm gonna keep watching and boo the fuck out of him. And like while I'm in the crowd at SummerSlam, I'm chanting "fuck you, Logan." Like I like him being in the match because I want to tell him to go fuck himself. Like it's not I'm turning this off. Put him against John Cena, a guy I've loved, and he's on his retirement tour. Yeah, I'm gonna cheer for Cena and tell Logan, fuck you. Like that is the perfect combination. I think it is something that there's probably gonna be a section of fans, you know, that are so anti-Logan, and I get it. I'm anti-Logan too, but they're so anti-Logan that they're gonna be like, oh my God, they're having Cena face Logan in his final run, blah blah blah. Look, he's played some of the hits. We've gotten some of the big rivalries. He put over Cody. There's some names that he's got to face that have the longer lasting effect. You know, the Cody win at SummerSlam, it's going to carry for a while. Cody is the guy, like stamped, signed.
QB1.
Yeah, he is QB1. Now, Cena doesn't have to lose to these guys, but it's time to get a few others, a Logan Paul, maybe a Gunther, guys that are like right there that just bumps them in Cena's final run where it's not a Cena Punk, it's not a Cena Brock, where when we look back at Cena's final run, and you're going through all the names and you're like, holy shit, he faced Cody Rhodes and then he faced Brock Lesnar. And in between that, he faced Logan Paul. Like that just does so much more for Logan than really anyone else. So I love it. I know people are going to kind of shit on it and I get it, but I'm excited for the match.
Yeah, I'm excited for it as well. I mean, off the back of Cena Cody, I've seen his best match in a long time. So I'm looking forward to the coming Cena matches. If I'm being honest, there's not a Logan Paul match that I haven't looked forward to. All his matches, don't get me wrong, I don't care for Jelly Roll, but Logan Paul put on a fucking clinic in a match, especially against Jelly Roll, you know? So I'm looking forward to it in many avenues. You know, it's fun, the idea, because I agree. I'm also not a fan of Logan Paul in person, but you're a clown if you're denying the fact that he's not a good wrestler and he's a good promo and charisma and all of that. Is there like a celebrity or something out there that you dislike enough that if they were as good as Logan Paul, like you literally couldn't even watch? Like
I don't.
imagine if Michael Rappaport was as good as Logan Paul in the ring.
Oh,
Like that's a
yeah.
good
I
one,
mean,
you know?
he's. I'd put quotations around celebrity nowadays.
Yeah.
Don't sue me. That was just a joke. Um, I could, yeah, I don't really know. I'm also like not knee deep
Me neither. Yeah,
in the celebrity. Like you watch way more movies than I
I
do.
watch a shit ton of
Yeah,
movies.
like
Yeah, I do a shit ton of movies.
I'm not even kidding. Like you could put some celebrities in front of me, and like I maybe recognize their face, and I'm like I have no idea.
Who?
I
Who?
just found out recently. Josh Allen's like wife is
Yep.
a
Haley Steinfeld. Yeah,
I had
yeah.
no idea. I just thought she was famous just because she was famous. Like,
That's Kate Bishop. That's the
yeah,
Hawk Girl. And she was in Sinners. That's like the best movie of the last 10 years. Come on, you got to
never
get with the program here. If you
didn't
haven't
see
watched
it.
Sinners yet, it's about to be C2 Sinners. We're going to talk Sinners for the rest of this episode here. But
Didn't see it.
it is a funny concept to think of. I don't know if there's even any celebrities out there that I really hate that much. But, you know, Logan Paul
I'm
is
sure there's
definitely,
someone that there's
if I
definitely some
think deep
athletes.
enough, yeah, oh, it's definitely some athletes. Yeah. It's definitely a lot of athletes. All right. You know, let's be honest here. But, you know, back to Logan a little bit. The guy's great. Cena's great. But what we got tonight was not just a little bit of Cena's future. We got a little bit of Cody Rhodes' future, and that involves Drew McIntyre, which another thing that I'm a big fan of. Drew deserves a couple more flowers. He deserves even a title run, if you ask me. I don't think Cody should hold this belt forever. Maybe he should get a win. Maybe he should lose it. I'm not opposed to Cody being a 3, 4, 5, 6 time champion, though, either. So him flipping it to Drew is maybe not the worst thing in my mind. I don't think it's going to happen quite yet. But regardless, Drew deserves the spot. He deserves to be maybe the main event of Clash in Paris against Cody Rhodes for the championship.
I think it will be the main event, and I
Mm-hmm.
do agree. Like I love Drew, and he almost wished there was like a third title.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Yeah.
right now, like I'm loving what's happening with the world title. I love Cody as WWE champion. You almost wish there was like a third title. Not putting Drew in third place just because I like what's going on, and I also like Drew. There is a gnat that has not been in my room all day. As soon as we start recording, it is just right in my face. Um, the issue though, it's similar to when Cody beat Roman. You had that crazy of a match. Cody kicked out of so much. He's got to hold the title for at least 6 months now. Like
Yeah,
he
100%.
what he went through to win that match, it would be a disservice to Cena and Cody and that match if he lost the title in like 2 months. Like that would be a genuine travesty. And then at that point, like you start thinking about it, if he's gonna hold it for a couple months, at that point you're at the Rumble. They never defend at the Chamber anymore,
Mm,
you know. So at that point, boom, he's going to
yeah.
Mania.
I mean, similar to the Chamber War Games, he's probably going to be in the War Games
Yeah,
match. There's a
exactly.
likelihood of that, you know. I do completely agree. The only avenue I can see Cody losing the belt sooner than, say, the Rumble would be in some scenario of like 10 fucking people holding him down, you know, taping him to
Yeah.
the mat
Or
or
a
something,
multi-man
you know. Yeah,
match.
multi-man match, like some screwy type finish. But I don't even predict that. I do think he has to hold the title till the Rumble. But I am in a boat now of like, Cody beat Roman at Mania 40. You know, Cena turned heel, won the title. Cody won the title back. There's been a bit of predictability with the championship for a while now. Cody versus Owens was a great feud. We knew Owens was never winning the belt during that feud because there was a Cody plan coming.
Not if The
You
Rock
know,
had his way.
fair point. You know, but now I'm in a boat of like, again, I don't need Cody to necessarily lose the title at Clash in Paris, but I kind of want him to lose the match at, say, the Rumble and flip the title to somebody, spice it up a little bit, you know? I don't, maybe Cody probably is the guy to be champion going into Mania right now, but I don't know. Again, I just want a little bit of spice added into these title pictures, and I'm not opposed to a guy like Drew being the one to hold the championship. On the flip side, the other champion, Seth, he's probably not dropping the title for a while either. So, you know, if you're going to add any sort of mix up into anything going on, I'm really not opposed to Drew getting those flowers again.
I think there's two people with Cody that I would like to see, and one I would prefer to take the title off of him more than the other. Mania 42, you know who's got the greatest of all time. I pulled it up before. I had it right on my desk. The GOAT,
Yeah, we
Gunther.
knew it
Yeah,
was coming.
I would love I'd obviously love that. I've seen a lot of people mention Cody Punk at Mania, which I'm down for. I'm all for that. I would rather Cody wins. Like I love Punk and give him the night two main event, sweet, whatever. Um, I wouldn't even this may sound crazy. I wouldn't even hate if that was the night one main event and Rollins versus Roman was the night two main event. To that really spices it up a bit in my opinion. The world title goes
Mm-hmm.
on last. That gets the bigger shine. You know, then you have the argument of Punk still not being the main event. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think is it predictable if Gunther takes the title off of Cody if the Mania match is Cody Gunther? Look, this is like supreme fantasy booking by a Gunther stan, but there's been rumors that he's going to be Cena's last match. Maybe he parlays that into a Rumble or a Chamber win, and he faces Cody to tie it back to tonight. I love Drew, man. It
Mm-hmm.
just, I almost feel bad for him that
I do.
he's like, he's the guy to set up the guy every
Mm-hmm.
time.
He's kind of the fall guy in a way, you know. He is,
He's the bridesmaid.
you know, and it is a shame because he was gonna have his moment, and then COVID hits, and he doesn't quite get it, and there's nothing you could do, you know. And they worked through the Thunderdome, and Drew carried a lot of that. And ever since then, he's always just been the guy that's like, he's always been in the spot of he deserves it, but it's not the right time because there's other more prominent things going on. Now, it's not even a discredit to Drew, but it's hard to kind of give Drew the title when you have guys like Gunther, guys like Roman, Punk, Cody, all these other names floating around. Hell, Gunther might win the Rumble himself. You know, I still am putting my money on Sammy this year, but Gunther's up there, like you said, the Chamber. I don't think it's outlandish. You know, we are a Gunther Stan account again, but I think probability wise, who does Cody lose the title to? Drew, Gunther, Punk. That's it, you know. And the Punk one is maybe wishful thinking. I think there's a more reason for Punk to take the title off of Rollins, obviously. That's a whole talk for another podcast, another review or something like that. But I'm looking forward to Clash in Paris. I'm looking forward to what's to come. The main event tonight looks like you have a point. I'm going to let you jump into
You
this in a second, but The main event, I just got to say, loved seeing Cena wrestle tonight. But the point, again, I felt like was Drew in the main event. They wanted to kind of put Drew over.
Yeah, and they did it as best they could because I'm watching the match and I have a strong feeling Cena's going to win at the Clash. But in this tag match, I don't see Cena getting pinned and I don't see Cody getting pinned. So I was actually like kind of intrigued, like, how is this going to go? And it was the most logical ending. Logan just hits a low blow, starts taking out Cena, and then Drew takes out Cody, sets that up. One name I did want to mention though, and he was on tonight. You want to spice things up. I would love for Alistair to be the one to take the title off Cody.
Alistair is a very intriguing name where typically, I've said this many times, I like to see guys get some accolades, win a mid card title, win a tag title, move their way up. Alistair is of the bunch of, it's not necessarily getting younger. He had his tenure, he left, he returned. He's an incredible talent. If you have him beat a guy like Priest, a former world champion, at Clash in Paris, that should put him in the category of main eventers. Alistair is kind of the guy right now that I think is the sweet spot to be the Bronson Reed of last year. Squeeze him into the War Games. Get him in that slot with the main eventers, establish him a little bit more. Alistair as a heel versus Cody, that could be incredible. The Rumble? I don't want to say book it, but I mean, let's book it.
Yeah, if they did an injury angle as I punch my microphone, they did an injury angle for Priest saying he's got a fracture in his jaw. So if they do
Mm-hmm.
have that match at Clash, essentially right now the card is laid out as Cody versus Drew, Cena versus Logan, Stephanie versus the winner of Naomi and Io. I am, if that's the match, Priest versus Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would assume with Roman being promoted for Clash, it is some combination, whether it's a six-man tag, whether it's a fatal four-way, whether it's a one-on-one, whatever. That is your fifth match. That's a fucking damn good card.
Damn good card. And that's in a damn good place to have a damn good card. That Paris crowd
Never been.
goes pretty hard. Yeah, never been. Yeah, not even once, right?
No.
Paris too, it's maybe not Scotland, but it's kind of like blue balls to have Drew get another big loss in a place like Paris, like it's again adds to me feeling a little bit bad for Drew. It's one of those, again, you wish it was a third title because don't get me wrong, a lot of credibility to the US and IC title, but it's almost like winning one of those doesn't do it for Drew anymore. He needs the big
Yeah.
one or kind of nothing realistically, but I love the spitball idea of Alistair. There's a lot of guys in the mix right now. Cody's world right now is fresh. It is fresh. I still am not even ruling out. It's unlikely, but a Cena Cody 3. I'm not even gonna rule that out. But I think a Gunther retiring Cena is a bit more likely right now, and Gunther going on facing Cody, like we had said. But there's a lot of ideas that can go down with Cody. Cody versus Drew is fresh enough. Cody versus Alistair. Cody versus Punk would be fresh. Again, there's just so many avenues that they can go. I don't know how you're not interested if you're a wrestling fan at this point in time.
I completely agree. We'll just brush on a few other things on SmackDown. We had Solo's MFT beat the Machine Guns. Upsetting, but a faction that we've talked about getting into the mix for the tag team division, now seeming to get into the mix for the tag team division. After the match, Solo cuts a promo. Nick Aldis says, "You're not going anywhere. You've got an opponent familiar with Montreal." It ends up being Sami Zayn. It was one of those moments where I wasn't upset that, they once again just threw the brand split out the window.
Mhm.
But the match ends. Zayn, leaves. They kind of like he kind of outsmarted the entire MFT.
MFT.
I'm like, this should have just been the dark segment.
Yeah, it could have easily been the dark segment, or honestly, like Sammy didn't have to win. It could have just been a DQ.
Yeah.
And like if you're, and I hate to even say because I love Solo as US champ, but like you just had the US champ lose. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, like Sammy should be the fucking champion right now if you want me to get technical. That's how I
Yeah.
look at it. Or Sammy should be number one contender in a way, But it's whatever. It was all for the moment of it being his hometown. Got a hell of a pop coming out. Absolutely despise them ignoring the brand split, but it is what it is. in moments like that, it is what it is. It's been very common lately that they've been brushing the brand split aside, so I'm not as like cool. It's fine with it, but typically not the biggest deal for a moment like they had.
Yeah. We also had set up Street Profits versus DIY. Loving that even though we got this six-way TLC tag title match, they are still like, even though that felt like the culmination of all those stories, no, the tag team division is still strong. Solo's MFT, as we mentioned, is now in the mix. They're going to try to put a bow on that story, a Bo Dallas on that story. We'll switch over, kind of get towards the end here. Carmelo Hayes on, him and The Miz in some tag team match next week. I would assume they end up not being in a match.
You
But
see, I was going to say, I assume that, they made it seem like Miz didn't actually get the match.
yes.
And that is possible. But I had a feeling they might just get Andrade and Ray Phoenix, get
Oh,
them on the card as well.
that's a good point.
Miz takes the loss real quick. Carmelo gets pissed, whatever, move it along.
Yeah, that's a good point. Look, get Carmelo on TV. Cool.
Fine by me.
Fine by me. I do want to wrap things up with the women's segments tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The Charlotte Alexa segment. It was one of those that being in the crowd was probably pretty solid for it. Did nothing for me on TV.
Yeah, it's
But
not clicking for me, to be honest. And I feel like I'm in the minority from what I've seen with like the hype around Charlotte and Alexa right now. And I like pre SummerSlam, I didn't like the pairing. I still am not crazy on it. It feels like very universe mode to me, but their promos together, oh, I don't know. It's cringing me out. I don't know. Something about it is just like not sticking for me.
yeah, I don't mind it. I like it. It's not the worst thing to me.
It's not the worst thing.
It seems, we get a Tiffy backstage segment. Her and Jade aren't done, it seems. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Last but not least, we did have a segment right at the end of that where Mia Yim takes the card of Kiana James and she's looking for a United States Championship match against Julia. And I have to say, Mia Yim is good.
Mm-hmm.
Mia Yim is really good.
Always has been.
Always has been. There has to be someone else to face Julia for the United States Championship. Like, there has to be someone on the roster that hasn't gotten a chance for the US title because it truly feels. I know Chelsea was the first champion, but it feels since that title was won by Chelsea, it has either been Mia Yim or Zelina Vega going for the title. Like,
It
that's
has been.
what it feels
I
like.
I mean, it's not even a hot take in my opinion. Chelsea should still be United States champion. She should have never lost it. Zelina's run was a wash. Julia's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. And Zelina's great too. I like Zelina. Julia is obviously fantastic, but like, when the fuck did Julia win the title? Like it's hard to even think back to like that moment, that match. It wasn't that special. I'm sure it was for Julia, but like not real hype around it. You give her Kiana James, which cool. Kiana James is back fine. Random pairing doesn't really like make sense to me. Like I don't know. I guess you got to give her a voice a little bit. Maybe the English isn't to their liking enough for Julia to have all the ability on the mic. But trying to think of other women, Chelsea Green had a segment tonight with the Secret Service and Alexa and Charlotte. So maybe they're not going to use her. She already was US champ, but like you said, there's just got to be somebody else. It's nothing against Mia Yim, but
Here's the
there's got to
thing.
be.
They don't use the brand split, so it could
I
be
know,
anyone.
I
They could
know.
fucking
Like
grab anyone.
you could I mean, Nia Jax had some stuff with Lash Legend on NXT, but Nia could have been a great opponent for Julia. Hell, Lash Legend could have been a good opponent for Julia. It's
Yeah.
fresh, it's different. You call somebody up a little bit. There's definitely some other avenues they could have gone.
Yeah, it was. I know I'm kind of ending on a bitch, but uh, it was to not bitch at the very end. I enjoyed SmackDown. It really
Me
was
too.
kind of like the capping off of SummerSlam. This is, it's always weird that SmackDown after the PLE, it's so many days removed that it feels like you're on to the next thing, but you're still kind of wrapping things up. Now we are weeks away from Clash in Paris. We will do a live stream. You should come hang out. If you're not subscribed, coward, clown, pussy, you name it. You make me sick if you're watching right now and you are not subscribed. Tuh.
Is right. Subscribe to the channel or you're a coward. We're going to end it on that.